There's a moment that hits many of us later in life, a moment when we pause, look back, and realize how much easier things could have been if only we'd prepared for old age. For me, that moment came when I was staring at a stack of medical bills, wondering how I'd ever manage to pay them. Or when I realized I couldn't climb the stairs without feeling winded, wishing I'd taken better care of my body years ago. Spoiler alert, these challenges didn't appear out of nowhere. They were the result of choices I made or didn't make earlier in life. The truth is, preparing for old age isn't just about saving money or staying healthy. It's about creating a foundation that allows you to live with dignity, security, and peace of mind. Yet so many of us put it off, thinking, I'll deal with that later. But here's the hard reality. Later arrives sooner than you think, and by then, it's often too late to make meaningful changes without significant effort or sacrifice. If you're watching this video, consider yourself lucky you still have time to prepare. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore 6 shocking truths about preparing for old age. These aren't just random tips. They're lessons learned through personal experience and the stories of countless others who have faced similar struggles. My hope is that by sharing these truths, you'll feel inspired to take action today, not tomorrow, not next year, but right now. Let's dive into the first shocking truth. Time waits for no one, and procrastination can cost you dearly. When I was younger, I always told myself, I'll start saving more later, or I'll focus on my health after I finish insert milestone here. Later turned into next year, then the year after that, and before I knew it, decades had passed without me taking the steps I should have. I thought I had plenty of time, but what I didn't realize was how quickly life moves and how much harder it becomes to catch up once you fall behind. Here's the reality. Whether we're talking about finances, health, or relationships, preparation is key. The earlier you start, the easier it is to build a solid foundation for your future. For example, if you'd started saving just $200 a month in your 30s, assuming an average annual return of 7%, you'd have over $300,000 by the time you reached your 60s. But if you waited until your 50s to begin, you'd end up with far less, even if you saved the same amount each month. It's not just about money, though. The same principle applies to your health. Small habits, like eating nutritious foods, staying active, and getting regular checkups, compound over time. Neglecting them early on can lead to bigger problems later, such as chronic illnesses or mobility issues. I remember realizing in my 60s that some of the health challenges I faced could have been prevented, or at least delayed, if I'd taken better care of myself earlier. The lesson here isn't just about numbers or medical stats, it's about mindset. Don't fall into the trap of thinking, I'll deal with it later. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, whether it's unexpected medical bills, job loss, or family emergencies. The best thing you can do is start now, no matter how small the step. Open a retirement account, schedule that doctor's appointment, or simply set aside 10 minutes a day to walk around your neighborhood. Every action you take today is an investment in your future self. Now, let's move on to the second shocking truth. Aging doesn't happen overnight, it creeps up on you. When I was in my 40s and 50s, I often dismissed signs of aging as minor inconveniences. A little back pain here, some fatigue there, I figured it was normal and nothing to worry about. But looking back, I realized those were early warning signs that I ignored at my own peril. The problem with aging is that it's gradual. You don't wake up one morning suddenly old. Instead, subtle changes accumulate over time, often going unnoticed until they become serious issues. For instance, losing muscle mass and flexibility happens slowly, but if you don't address it through exercise and proper nutrition, it can lead to mobility problems down the road. Similarly, cognitive decline may start subtly forgetting where you left your keys or struggling to recall a name, but if left unchecked, it can progress into something more concerning. The good news is that many of these changes can be slowed or even reversed with proactive measures. Strength training, for example, helps maintain muscle mass and bone density, reducing the risk of falls and fractures. Brain games, puzzles, and lifelong learning keep your mind sharp and adaptable. And maintaining a healthy diet rich in antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids supports both physical and mental well-being. One of the biggest mistakes I made was underestimating the importance of consistency. It's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about building sustainable habits that support your body and mind over the long term. If you're unsure where to start, consider working with a healthcare provider or fitness professional to create a plan tailored to your needs. Remember, small actions repeated daily can lead to profound results over time. Now that we've covered the importance of starting early and being mindful of gradual changes, let's transition to our next shocking truth. Because while time and awareness play a huge role in preparing for old age, there's another factor that often gets overlooked, and it's something you need to address sooner rather than later. Stick around, because we're about to uncover the third shocking truth you must know to avoid regrets in your golden years. All right, let's pick up where we left off. So far, we've talked about the importance of starting early and being proactive about the gradual changes that come with aging. Two truths that highlight how much control you have over your future. But now, let's dive into the third shocking truth. Financial security isn't just about saving, it's about planning for the unexpected. When I reached my 60s, I thought I had done enough by squirreling away money in a retirement account. What I didn't realize was how unprepared I was for the curveballs life would throw my way. Emergencies don't wait for you to be ready, they strike when you least expect it, and without a safety net, they can derail even the best-laid plans. For example, I once faced a $10,000 plumbing issue in my home, a cost I hadn't anticipated and certainly hadn't budgeted for. At first, I considered dipping into my retirement savings to cover it, but that decision would have come with penalties and taxes that would have set me back even further. It was a wake-up call that made me realize how critical it is to have an emergency fund. The lesson here is simple but crucial. Build an emergency fund as part of your financial strategy. Most experts recommend setting aside 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in a separate, easily accessible account. If you're retired or nearing retirement, you may want to increase that amount to account for higher healthcare costs or other uncertainties. Start by identifying your essential monthly expenses, things like housing, food, utilities, and transportation, and multiply that number by the number of months you'd like to cover. Then, set a goal to build that fund gradually, even if it means cutting back on non-essential spending temporarily. Where should you keep your emergency fund? The key is accessibility. A high-yield savings account or a money market fund is ideal because these options allow you to earn some interest while ensuring you can access the funds quickly if needed. Avoid tying up your emergency money in investments that could lose value or aren't liquid, like stocks or real estate. But planning for the unexpected goes beyond just having an emergency fund. It also means anticipating future costs, particularly healthcare expenses. Healthcare is one of the biggest financial challenges retirees face, and ignoring it can leave you vulnerable. Studies show that a 65-year-old couple retiring today can expect to spend over $300,000 on healthcare alone during their retirement years, and that doesn't even include potential costs for assisted living or nursing homes. To prepare for these costs, consider investing in supplemental insurance plans such as Medicare Advantage or Medigap policies, which can help cover gaps in traditional Medicare. Additionally, if you're eligible, contribute to a health savings account (HSA). Contributions to an HSA are tax-deductible, grow tax-free, and can be withdrawn tax-free for qualified medical expenses, a triple win that makes it a powerful tool for managing healthcare costs. Now, let's move on to the fourth shocking truth. Relationships are your safety net, and neglecting them can leave you isolated. When I turned 60, I realized something alarming. My social circle had shrunk significantly over the years. Friends had moved away, family members were busy with their own lives, and I found myself feeling increasingly disconnected. What I didn't understand at the time was how much this isolation was affecting not just my emotional well-being, but also my physical health. Research shows that loneliness and social isolation are linked to a host of negative outcomes, including increased risk of heart disease, depression, cognitive decline, and even premature death. In fact, some studies suggest that chronic loneliness can be as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's why nurturing relationships is so important, not just for happiness, but for longevity. The good news is that it's never too late to rebuild or expand your social network. Start by reaching out to people you care about. Call an old friend you haven't spoken to in a while, invite a neighbor over for coffee, or join a club or group where you can meet new people. Volunteering is another fantastic way to connect with others while giving back to your community. And don't underestimate the power of technology. Video calls, social media, and online forums can help you stay in touch with loved ones no matter where they are. One of the most transformative decisions I made in my 60s was joining a local walking group. Not only did it keep me physically active, but it also introduced me to a whole community of people who became close friends. We shared stories, supported each other through challenges, and celebrated milestones together. Those connections gave me a renewed sense of purpose and belonging, and they reminded me that I wasn't alone in navigating this stage of life. Now, we've covered financial preparedness and the importance of relationships, but there's another shocking truth that plays a critical role in thriving as you age, and it's something many people overlook. Stick around, because we're about to uncover the fifth truth you must know to live your best life in your golden years. Let's talk about the fifth shocking truth. Your mindset shapes your experience of aging more than you think. This one might sound surprising, but it's backed by science and my own personal experience. When I reached my 60s, I noticed something interesting about the way people around me were approaching this stage of life. Some embraced it with enthusiasm, seeing it as an opportunity to grow, explore, and enjoy life in new ways. Others, however, seemed stuck in a mindset of limitation. They focused on what they'd lost instead of what they still had and could gain. Guess which group was happier and healthier? The answer won't surprise you. It was the optimists. Here's the science behind it. Research shows that maintaining a positive outlook has profound effects on both mental and physical health. People who approach aging with optimism tend to experience lower levels of stress, better cardiovascular health, and even stronger immune systems. On the flip side, negative thinking can lead to chronic stress, which accelerates aging and increases the risk of conditions like heart disease and depression. But here's the thing, positivity isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about reframing how you see those challenges. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm too old to try something new," ask yourself, "What can I learn from this experience?" Instead of dwelling on what you've lost, whether it's mobility, energy, or opportunities, focus on what you still have: wisdom, resilience, and the freedom to prioritize what matters most. One exercise that helped me shift my mindset was practicing gratitude. Every morning, I started writing down 3 things I was thankful for. Some days, it was big things, like spending time with my grandchildren. Other days, it was small joys, like the smell of fresh coffee or a sunny afternoon. Over time, this practice rewired my brain to notice the good in every situation, no matter how small. And let me tell you, it made a world of difference. Another powerful tool for cultivating a positive mindset is surrounding yourself with uplifting influences. Spend time with people who inspire and encourage you, read books or listen to podcasts that motivate you, and limit exposure to negativity, whether it's toxic relationships, pessimistic news cycles, or self-defeating thoughts. Remember, your environment shapes your perspective, so create one that supports growth and joy. Now, let's transition to the sixth and final shocking truth. Purpose doesn't retire when you do. This one is perhaps the most surprising and the most powerful. When I first retired, I thought I'd finally have all the time in the world to relax and enjoy myself. And while there were certainly perks to having more free time, I quickly realized something. Without a sense of purpose, life felt hollow. Purpose gives your days meaning and direction. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning and keeps you engaged with the world around you. For some people, purpose comes from family. For others, it's work, hobbies, volunteering, or spiritual practices. The key is to find something that resonates with you and makes you feel alive. When I rediscovered my purpose in my 60s, everything changed. I started mentoring young professionals in my field, sharing the knowledge and experience I'd accumulated over decades. Not only did it give me a renewed sense of fulfillment, but it also reminded me that I still had value to offer the world. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing, it just has to matter to you. Now that we've explored all 6 shocking truths, let's wrap things up with a few final thoughts. Because while these insights are eye-opening, the real magic happens when you take action on them. Stick around, because we're about to tie everything together and leave you with a roadmap for preparing for old age and thriving in it. As we come to the end of this video, I want to leave you with a message that I hope will resonate deeply and inspire action. Preparing for old age isn't just about avoiding regret, it's about creating a life filled with purpose, joy, and security. The years ahead can be some of the most rewarding of your life if you approach them with intention and care. But here's the hard truth: preparation doesn't happen by accident. It requires awareness, effort, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable realities I wish someone had helped me understand sooner. Let's recap the 6 shocking truths we've explored today, because each one offers a roadmap for thriving in your golden years. 1. Time waits for no one, and procrastination can cost you dearly. Start now, whether it's saving money, taking care of your health, or building relationships. Every step you take today is an investment in your future self. 2. Aging doesn't happen overnight, it creeps up on you. Gradual changes in your body and mind may seem insignificant at first, but they compound over time. Stay proactive by adopting habits that support long-term well-being, like regular exercise, brain-training activities, and a nutrient-rich diet. 3. Financial security isn't just about saving, it's about planning for the unexpected. An emergency fund and a strategy for healthcare costs are essential components of financial preparedness. Don't wait for a crisis to expose gaps in your plan. Address them now so you can face the future with confidence. 4. Relationships are your safety net, and neglecting them can leave you isolated. Strong social connections are vital for both emotional and physical health. Nurture your existing relationships and seek out new ones through hobbies, volunteering, or community groups. 5. Your mindset shapes your experience of aging more than you think. A positive outlook doesn't just improve your mood, it impacts your physical health, cognitive function, and overall quality of life. Practice gratitude, reframe challenges as opportunities, and surround yourself with uplifting influences. 6. Purpose doesn't retire when you do. Finding meaning in your days keeps you engaged and fulfilled. Whether it's mentoring others, pursuing a passion project, or contributing to your community, purpose gives your life direction and depth. Now, let's talk about what comes next for you. Reflect on these truths and ask yourself, which one resonates with me the most? What's one thing I can do today to start living by these principles? Maybe it's setting up an automatic transfer to your savings account, scheduling that long overdue doctor's appointment, or reaching out to an old friend. Whatever it is, write it down. Commit to it. And remember, progress doesn't have to happen overnight. Small, consistent actions lead to big results over time. I also want to remind you that it's okay to stumble along the way. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of surprises. The goal isn't perfection, it's intentionality. It's about showing up for yourself, embracing change, and finding beauty in every stage of the journey. Here's a personal example. When I finally decided to tackle my lack of financial preparedness, I felt overwhelmed. I didn't know where to begin, and the thought of facing my mistakes was daunting. But instead of trying to fix everything at once, I broke it into manageable steps. First, I created a budget to track my spending. Then, I opened a high-yield savings account for emergencies. Next, I met with a financial advisor to create a retirement plan tailored to my needs. Each step felt achievable, and over time, those small actions added up to significant progress. The same principle applies to any area of preparation. Start small, stay consistent, and celebrate your wins along the way. You don't have to figure everything out right now, but you do need to take the first step. Finally, I want to thank you for joining me today. Sharing these truths isn't just about offering advice, it's about creating a conversation. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It means so much to me and helps others discover this content too. If you know someone who might benefit from hearing these insights, share this video with them. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more tips and stories designed to help you live your best life. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, your future is worth fighting for. You've got this.